Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Always wanted to say that. Well, if you're new to my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Ila and I'm talking about my crazy life. Do you like my dress, by the way? Let me know in comments below. Thank you. Okay, today I am going to talk a little bit more about my crazy life, and you already know that I left home and you know what happened right after that, but I guess you don't know about years of planning behind the scenes, so I'm gonna talk about it today. Well, there are several things which I needed to solve, and they are: let's start with destination and safety. Obviously, I couldn't leave home just like that without knowing where to go and where to stay. And my original plan was move to another city and live with my best friend, but things changed and I had to stay at the same town for 2 years, which was dangerous because my ideal love story plan didn't work out and it didn't provide me the safety which I was expecting. Like my family tried to find me with the police and so on. So if you have watched my previous video, you know about it in more details. If you haven't, please do watch. Thank you. Well, the next is money. Well, and honestly, I didn't have enough. Though I managed to have a bank account and I was working secretly as a tutor after university, but that money wasn't actually enough. In July, I worked at the summer camp for 2 weeks, and the money which I earned from there was the only money which I managed to save up, and it was literally a few weeks before I left home. Yeah, and I needed to find a job urgently after I leave home, but it wasn't an easy thing to do because I didn't have citizenship. I didn't have a Russian passport. Well, and as you can guess, next point is about getting citizenship. Well, I had Azeri passport, and since I lived in Russia, I had something like temporary ID which allows me to work and so on, but not every employee knows about that, and it's really difficult to get a job because they don't want to hire you and have some immigration issues. Well, that's why I needed to apply for citizenship, and luckily I could do that because I lived in the country for long enough to do so. And I did, but it wasn't as easy as it sounds. It took me a while. First of all, I needed to get my dad's permission. And it wasn't easy because he was changing his mind about me getting citizenship every week. 1 week he was absolutely okay about it. The other week he was like, oh, we're gonna send you back to Azerbaijan and somebody from our relatives will find you a good husband, so you don't actually need to change your passport. And he also had excuses like the man who does all those paperwork is not in the town and we need to wait for him. Well, as you can guess, the conversation was on and off for a long time, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do everything by myself. I don't need to wait for any man to do all those paperwork. Oh my god, there was so much paperwork, but I did everything by myself. I needed to translate all my documents from Azeri into Russian. I needed to notarize them. I needed to pass Russian language and Russian history exam, even though I was studying at the university at that moment and I already passed those exams. They wanted me to have the one which I need to pay for, and it was actually expensive. Well, eventually I did everything, and the last and the most important thing which I needed to do is prove that I am financially stable. And guess what? I wasn't financially stable because I didn't work and I didn't have any millions on my bank account. Well, and for that I needed my dad to prove that he is supporting me financially, and for that I needed my dad to provide all those papers, and it was really difficult because he was always busy. Well, eventually he did that, but that wasn't enough because I needed him to come to Immigration Tower and sign up those papers, which was another challenge because he was busy, as you can guess. Well, eventually he came to the Immigration Tower and I was standing behind him when he was signing up those papers, and I kind of felt bad about it, but he was signing the papers which secure my freedom. Well, I was happy, and finally I applied for citizenship, and I needed to wait for another 6 months. So I applied in August, and in January, 6 months later, I got my citizenship. I was so happy. Well, and the trickiest part, which I promised to tell you at the end of the video, is about how I managed to move my things from the house. Well, I needed to pack my clothes, my books and other things, too many things to take on my own. And for this, I needed my friend's help. Okay, are you ready to hear the genius plan ever? Well, July 23rd is my birthday. Remember this date. Well, and I got permission to invite my friends to come to my place since I wasn't allowed to go out. And they came over and we had a great time celebrating my birthday. And in the evening, when they were about to leave, each of them took a bag packed with my things. Genius, right? Well, that was a huge help. Thank you very much, girls. I hope you watched this video. Well, I kept a few things which I needed for the next 3 weeks, and 3 weeks later I packed my last bag and I left. That's all. That's not all the planning I've done before I left, but these are the most important things I needed to think about to make sure that when I leave, I'll be safe, I will have place to live, I will have money, and you know, everything like that. Well, and I guess there should be a moral of the story. Okay, let's say the moral of the story is, if you want to do something, do that. But always plan, and be ready to improvise if your plans are not going as you planned them. And the most important thing is that asking for help is absolutely okay. Don't be shy or scared. Ask for help if you need it. And I'm sure that there are going to be lots of good people who are ready to help. Okay, that's the moral of the story. I'm just in a good mood because I like my dress. Well, anyway, I hope that you watched till this moment, and if you did, thank you very much, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.